Welcome, dear viewers, to a journey like no other. Today we embark on an extraordinary adventure where mysteries unfold and wonders await. So sit back, relax, and let us take you on a captivating exploration into the unknown winding road. The night was heavy with an eerie stillness, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves in the dense forest surrounding me. My headlights cut through the darkness, revealing nothing but the empty road ahead. I had taken this route countless times before, but tonight, something felt different. My fingers tapped nervously on the steering wheel, trying to shake off the unsettling feeling crawling up my spine. The radio played static, and every attempt to tune into a station failed. I glanced at my phone, but there was no signal either. Isolated and alone, my unease grew with each passing mile. As I continued along the winding path, I noticed strange shapes darting at the periphery of my vision. Shadows danced between the trees, but whenever I turned my gaze, they disappeared. I chided myself for being paranoid, blaming it on the darkness playing tricks on my mind. But then, a sudden figure appeared in the middle of the road ahead. I slammed on the brakes, my heart pounding in my chest. It was a woman, her face obscured by unkempt hair, dressed in a ragged, blood-stained white dress. Her limbs seemed twisted and unnatural as she staggered towards me. Frozen in terror, I watched as she approached the car, her eyes glowing an unnatural shade of crimson. I tried to reverse, but the car wouldn't budge. Panic consumed me as she drew closer, her presence sending chills down my spine. "Help me," she whispered, her voice a haunting melody that seemed to echo in my mind. "They're coming for me. Don't let them take me back." I fumbled for my phone again, praying for a signal to call for help. But my efforts were futile. The woman was now at the driver's side window, her breath fogging the glass. I could see her twisted, anguished face more clearly, and it was enough to send shivers down my spine. "Please, you have to help me," she pleaded, her hand reaching out as if to touch me. But before she could make contact, a gut-wrenching screech echoed through the night, causing both of us to look in the direction of the sound. Emerging from the shadows were more twisted figures, each more horrifying than the last. Their eyes glowed with the same haunting red, and their limbs seemed disjointed and unnatural as they moved closer to the car. My heart raced as I realized there was no escape from this nightmare. In a desperate attempt to flee, I stomped on the gas pedal, the tires screeching in protest. The car lurched forward, and I narrowly avoided the grotesque beings in front of me. As I sped down the dark road, the forest around me seemed to close in, suffocating me in an impenetrable wall of darkness. With no idea where I was headed, I just knew I had to get away from those horrifying figures. The road seemed endless, the same scenery repeating in an eerie loop. I felt like a helpless pawn in some malevolent game, driven by forces beyond my control. The radio continued to emit static, but every now and then, a distorted voice broke through, whispering incomprehensible messages. The disembodied voices only added to the sense of impending doom, making my heart pound louder in my ears. As the night wore on, fatigue began to overtake me. I fought to stay awake, knowing that the moment I closed my eyes, the nightmarish beings might reappear. But my struggle was futile, and eventually, my eyes grew heavy, succumbing to exhaustion. When I woke, the sun was rising on the horizon, and the night's terror seemed to fade like a distant memory. I found myself parked on the side of an unfamiliar road, with no sign of the twisted beings or the haunted woman. It all felt like a horrifying dream, a figment of my imagination. But as I stepped out of the car and glanced at the forest around me, a shiver ran down my spine. Deep down, I knew that something otherworldly had transpired that night. A part of me wondered if I'd crossed into a parallel dimension, or stumbled upon a place where the lines between our world and the realm of nightmares blurred. From that day on, I vowed never to drive at night again, especially on unfamiliar roads. And though I try to convince myself that it was all just a hallucination or a vivid nightmare, the haunting memory of those glowing red eyes and twisted figures will forever be etched in my mind, a chilling reminder of a night gone horribly wrong.